All right, so it's February 23rd, sometime in the morning. Woke up to my usual of observing my instincts from as soon as I wake up. I'm starting to wake up and be much more calmer. Um, um, I just observe all the thoughts that run through my head as soon as I wake up and don't move a muscle. I just lay flat on my back and just remain calm and and letting loose of all the tension and just laying there and observing just my instincts on waking up, what my body is is driving to do, the urges, the obligations, the demands, and being aware of all that. And so it led me to writing this piece. As of now, I have it called Lifting the Veil. And I'll probably read the whole thing before I really start getting into it. Alright, so lifting the veil. Everything material and worldly are all constructed in order to bind and attach us here, somehow, some way. In any way possible to attach us here. Relationships, emotions. With emotions, we get addicted to the chemical releases in the body of feeling, and so we can become addicted to feeling happy, sad, the chemical reactions to drama and chaos, even excitement, and so it's because the reason it's dangerous to get addicted to these emotions is that we chase those feelings. We'll chase those feelings because we're addicted to the chemical releases of what those emotions bring. And, emotions are polarized. It's one or the other, right? Sad or happy, mad or frustrated or calm. They're it's one or the other, and you can only hold on to one for so long before you start feeling angry again, start feeling sad again, and then eventually all these emotions are fleeting. And so what I think, tapping back into that essence, it's transcending all emotions. Like even the emotions seem like constructs that bind us here, because you will always chase an emotion. See, we've turned love into an emotion. Because the love we talk about is abusive and it's not actually love. When our reality, when the space we live in, when we're operating from this as well, from true fact and reality, everyone's living authentically, everyone's living complete honesty and a complete commitment to what it means to be human, living humanely, living according to our nature, by our essence, and you could even say by these biological avatars when we're here. If all that was in alignment, nature would be completely different as well. Nature would be acting way differently, from the animals to to weather and things of that nature. Everything would be acting differently, as there would be a whole new frequency being emitted throughout the entirety of the earth, um, with everyone living in alignment to truth, fact, reality, authenticity, humanity, all these things, honesty. And what I'm saying is, when we're in that state, there is no roller coaster of emotions. There is no curveball of anger and frustration coming out of nowhere. We would be tapped into this wholeness, this completeness, that wherever our feet are, wherever we're standing, we are complete, we are whole. There's no seeking for adventure, there's no seeking for experience, there's no seeking for a fulfillment and feeling happy or feeling excited, like, because our presence, we would just be, we would be, we would just be human beings, just living without any structure or plan or chasing after something, it would just be experience. We would be living the experience. We would be living the excitement, right? But we're not like overly excited to where, it would just be completely I feel like that state, when you're living in wholeness, when you're living in completeness, you are tapped into your power and tapped into and just completely independent and just enjoying and living in that safe space with others. It would just be ecstatic in and of itself. Like, it wouldn't even be, it's just something to think about. So what else? So we got relationships, emotions. Now we got labels and status. Labels and status, by being ego driven to the point we're focused on enhancing our characters and constructed personalities. If you're chasing labels and status, that's all ego driven. That's all coming from trauma. That's all coming from needing to prove your worth and prove your worth and prove so many things of yourself. It's reaching, and usually labels and status is what is socially seen as, what is socially accepted to being seen as a higher status or a good label, of like a group you join, support group. I'm part of this support group. Look at me and look at my status and my job and how I carry myself and how I put people first than me, all these things. So labels and status is another thing we can get tied into, to becoming attached to this realm. And so we like to be viewed a certain way by others, therefore caring about how we're perceived and judged by others, which is all egoic. Because if you knew and had trust in yourself, then you wouldn't give two shits about what other people think, especially what's going on, especially with where we're at in our situation now in this realm. Like with where I'm at, I could give a shit less what fucking anybody out here thinks of me, because they're all about this world. They're all about their enslavement. They think I'm crazy, but they're over here loving their enslavement. They love being slaves, So it's like, I could give two shits less on how they think about me, because obviously their thinking is coming from a mind slave perception, So I could give fuck less what anybody here thinks about me, because their thinking is just completely wrong. And because of that, I'm not going to chase a label or status in order to prove my worth, to prove my knowledge, to prove who I am. I'm just going to do what I got to do, because which isn't chasing a label or status. I'm ridding all labels and statuses of myself, because I used to have a lot of labels and statuses, especially like because I was popular in high school, and people expected me to be a person, like if people saw me now, they would come with the expectation of seeing me that I'm doing big and better things at the moment, like things of this world, that I got some high paying job and I'm doing this great thing and this amazing thing, and I'm all, so, but then people see I'm working at Target and fucking and no longer keeping up with my athletics and things like that. So people will look at that and they think I'm just falling off, which used to affect me before. But now, I could give two shits less, because I'm not falling off. I am falling off of the programs. I'm falling off of the constructs. But in order to chase after what is meaningful and what is and the purpose of life, So we got relationships, emotions, labels, and status. We have behavioral addictions. We got dependent on external resources for vitality and health, which is another thing that keeps us bonded, as we don't think we are sustainable. We don't believe in our power to be independent and sovereign, so we're dependent and always chasing after things which we think are necessities that we need for our vitality and health, thinking that the most important thing to take care of is this flesh. So we idolize working out, having a nice physique, eating clean to function better in society, etc. Which these are bad, because we idolize thinking that the most important thing to take care of is this flesh. So we idolize working out, having a nice physique, eating clean, which has everything to do with of this world again. Sorry, I wanted to say something, but I forgot. Which is a problem, because we are more focused on the flesh than the spirit. So having a healthy body and mind is a byproduct to focusing and prioritizing, reclaiming and living from spirit, our essence, that which is truth, fact, and reality, that which is pure, organic, natural, and authentic. In order to reclaim and embody our essence, we must clean out this avatar. We must take actions which prove that we care and love ourselves. Though we'll be taking care of these bodies, doesn't mean we'll become bodybuilders, doesn't mean we'll become physique enthusiasts, doesn't mean we'll be focused on athletic performance, doesn't mean we'll become nutritionists, right? And knowing all the answers as to how to operate optimally in these structures, and that's the thing. When all you think of healing is healing this physical flesh, you're still going to be coming from the beliefs and the programming of needing certain food, needing having to work out in order to be in shape, having to all these things, but health and vitality is a byproduct of reclaiming our essence, reclaiming our spirit, living in truth, fact, and reality. Because when you're living in that, you're not going to be toxifying yourself. But you're also not going to be focused on having this godlike physique. You're not going to be focused, if that's more of your focus than living from your essence, that's an issue. That, again, is tying back into this world. That's tying back into labels and status. That's tying back into the emotions and relationships you create through focusing so much on this flesh. Everything which is outside of the spirit. These things put first the physical rather the spiritual. So there's other things, constructs, which are blatant to keep us attached, but it's easy to generalize and call it all material and worldly and egoic. Everything which is outside of the spirit, everything which takes your power and wholeness away, like needing a God, Savior, authority, anything that takes you away from knowing you're the most powerful thing on this earth. I'm thinking further down this road of healing. The goal is to be able to live monk style. I'm not saying the goal is to forever live monk style, but to achieve that ability, as what is in state for me in the future is unknown. I don't know how we're supposed to be living. I don't know what we're going to be doing. I don't know what the purpose is going to be after we fully clean out these vessels. We got our mind, body, and soul in alignment. We're fully embodying our spirit and our essence, and we're living from that, deciding from that, being from that. I don't know what's in store after that, but an ability to be able to pick up is to be able to sit in your presence and not need not want, desire, not feel lack or worry, or not dealing with any confusion. Because if you're able to sit in monk style, if you're able to sit in solitude even on a mountaintop and feel completely fulfilled, complete, and whole, that is what you're to be achieving. Because if you're able to sit in your presence in wholeness, um, um, you've transcended all things material. Now, I'm gonna get into it, but you can sit in that, but a lot of monks, a lot of, at least what I looked into, they're harnessing the energy of the earth, they're harnessing the energy of the gods, they're connecting with the gods, they're connecting with nature, and they're and that's where I draw the line. Because, so I'm gonna get into it. Being embodied by my essence, feeling whole, complete, and fulfilled, there would be no desire for a certain experience. I would be complete sitting with my presence. Unlike the monks who absorb energy outside of them, I would only be focused on my essence, as that's where all the energy and the power comes from. It just takes a full dive and a full trusting in that for it to allow it to expand and explode. So unlike the monks who absorb energy outside of them, I would only be focused on my essence. Instead of absorbing, I would be expanding my biofield, expanding my essence, as I allowed my essence to be empowered by me, embodying it more and more. By sitting with myself and not chasing anything outside of me is deepening my trust. By showing that I completely trust in my essence, that all the answers and all the powers within that essence, it will only allow that essence to expand more and more, as it is unlimited potential and infinite in its presence. It would develop, mature, and blossom into its wholeness. All I have to do is trust and let go, to not force but just be fully present in the here and now, experiencing each moment to its fullest. There is nothing of this world I would want, desire, or need, as all I need is to be me to my fullest. All the power, health, vitality, creativity, the knowing, all the answers are within me. First, I just need to deprogram, deconstruct, decondition all of the limitations which keep me in regulation, to no longer be subjugated to the confinements of this illusion matrix, to break through all barriers I have set for myself through survival and ego. It is a complete trust fall into the unknown, snipping all the lines that keep me from falling away from this reality. A letting go with a complete surrender and commitment to the truth. I am committed to my healing, as this is the only purpose I am to fulfill while on this realm. Nothing else matters except to heal and save ourselves from this hell. So like I said, I am committed to my healing, as this is the only purpose I am to fulfill while on this realm. That is the obligation while we're here. That is the obligation for our essence, for our spirit, is to reclaim it, is to heal. Now, like I said, when you're in that healed state, I don't know what happens after that. I don't know if what you're driven towards after that. But whatever you're driven towards, it won't be coming from ego. You'll have a clear understanding of what the purpose of being fully in alignment is after you complete the initial purpose, which is to heal. People immediately, they say, oh, well, we must all have purposes, so my purpose is to, like this one woman, so funny, she was like, yeah, I see my purpose is to experience all the pleasures of life, the food, the sex, the nature. And it's like, oh my God, girl, like you have some deep healing to do. She really said that was her purpose here, was to experience all the pleasures of life. And it's like, which we've gone over, the things we find pleasure in this life come from trauma and propaganda. So yeah, like people will be like, oh well, my purpose is to heal people and my purpose is to awaken the masses. But it's like, in order to heal people, in order to, it takes healing yourself, which all these people who say that their way of healing their self is through modalities, is through worshiping a modality, is through connecting with the gods and connecting with nature, and using nature's power, nature's force, and the gods essence, and channeling it through you, and allowing their powers to channel through you, and you facilitate it for whoever you're healing. And so that right there is a no-no, a huge no-no. Yeah, so it's like, no, your only fucking purpose right now is to heal yourself, and you will know as you are remaining honest, and you have surrendered and completely committed to what the truth is. You will see, because that program of having a purpose to be a healer or to anything of this world will slowly fade away and become blatant that, oh shit, that was coming um, from trauma, that was coming from um, all these things, right? And so, because as you do this healing, you see there is no saving anybody. The only thing you can do is heal and be an example of what it means to be healed, and to let go, to detach, and be fully trusting and diving fully into the unknown, which is only unknown because we've been stripped away from our essence, we've been stripped away from our birthright. So it's only unknown because it's we've been living um, in constructs which have made the truth unknown, which that's what is unknown, it's the truth. so um so it's not like we're just blindly going into, oh well, hopefully this is the answer. No, it's not that. Because when you obviously see that this is an enslavement, and that we've been abused and mistreated, misused since day one, it is pretty it's quite blatant that, okay, you know, obviously this is not the way to go. So I'm just going to trust in my intuition. I'm going to critically think, and I'm going to just, because when you start going on this path, the end isn't known. You know, the rewards that you'll reap isn't known. You know, you have no clue what's there at the end. So it's but you know that what you're doing, you know it's gonna be better than anything you're in right now, because at least these actions are humane. At least you're tapping more into your authenticity. At least you're becoming more empathetic in this and that nature. So it's easy to fully surrender to that path of life, you know, because it's like, well, this feels more real, this feels more aligned to truth, fact, and reality than anything else over here. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking is like, you know, being able to sit in monk, or live monk style, right, which is just a goal to be achieved, is to be able to sit in stillness, sit with your own presence, um, no matter what the climate is, and just be transcending the physical, you know, fully, like just fully embodying that essence, and having full trust, and um, yeah, full trust in that presence, you know, that, and not be dealing with any FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. There's none of that. There's no desire to want to go to the carnival, or experience food again, or anything like that, as you see that all that is superfluous, and they're actually things which keep you binded to this physical world. Um, yeah, because like I was writing in the beginning, there's just so much that ties us to this realm. I mean, even the labels we give ourselves, like even on this path, like labeling yourself as a critical thinker or a debater or an awakened one, you know, like all those things, because when you attach yourself to those labels, it's ultimately wanting to be seen in a certain way by others, because you have to tell them, because when they ask you, well, who are you, what do, you give them all these labels, right? Whereas the response should just be as simple as, I'm just aligning my life towards truth, fact, and reality, and trying to and focused on re-embodying my soul and spirit, and living authentically again in my essence, living humanely again, you know. That's it. But you can put all that of what I just said into so many different groups and labels. Oh, so you're a vegan. Oh, so you're a realist. Oh, so no, I'm not any of those things. I'm just fucking human. Not saying I'm human as in flesh. I'm human as in pure, organic, and natural, and that power which I am, you know. So yeah, we got to get rid of all the labels and the statuses. We got to give zero fucks. If we're still giving a fuck what people think about us, that's something that needs to be addressed. As if you were even to the point where I am, and knowing and trusting in what I'm doing, there is zero worry, because when death comes, nothing matters about what people fucking thought of you. All that matters is what you thought of you. So all that matters is your relationship with yourself when death comes. And so we got to completely let go of the seeking for validation. We got to completely let go of people knowing that we're doing the right thing. We got to completely let go of proving ourselves. We got to completely let go of all that shit. All that matters is our relationship with ourselves. All that matters is that we are constantly striving towards living more and more in true fact and reality, and embodying our authenticity again. We gotta completely let go. Like, if you drive a certain vehicle, you gotta completely let go of what people's judgments and perceptions would be about you for driving a certain type of vehicle. You know, like, who fucking cares? All I view a vehicle as is getting me from A to B for the moment being, as I'm still a part of this matrix, participating in these societies for work and such. So, I mean, because it's crazy. Like, I remember being able to see a vehicle, and like, just because of what has been propagandized into us, and just living in these societies with commercials and this and that, and personalities being tied to this thing and that thing, it's like you could look at a vehicle and you could immediately know who that person was a slight bit by, oh, well, for them to be driving that car, they must be this type of person, you know. Just like all this thing is like, what the fuck, you know. Like, a car shouldn't say anything about anyone. Like, literally, if you looked at my car, you'd just be like, yeah, that man's just trying to get from A to B. He doesn't give a fuck. But yeah, so there's just so much, though, like I said, the relationships, man, like being addicted to that, needing parents, like thinking, if you didn't have your mother or your dad's love, that you would have this void, you would have this feeling of lack within. And it's like, no, you, like, these whole family structures are constructs as well. Like I said, just because my mom is my mom doesn't fucking mean I need her in my life. If she's not willing to take the steps towards first acknowledging what she's done, and acknowledging the shit she's in, and then taking the steps to heal, I can totally cut her out of my life. I don't need her in my life. She is a virus in my life. She is and that's not true love. That's for her to be wanting to stay in her fantasy and living an illusion and loving this world. That does nothing to help me, especially as her child. Like, even if I was a parent and I saw my child, I would know that letting go, that they are not obligated to love me forever. They are not obligated to support me forever. They are not obligated to meet me certain times of the year for holidays and this or that. No, they have their own life. They do what they do. And the only way you can, which love is being able to let go. Love is being able to separate. All these things. So, but yeah, like, family isn't fucking family. Family are people who see you deeper than your avatar, who see you deeper than your past. They see you for the essence in which you are. They see you, there's actual real love, because they're also wanting to walk in true fact and reality. They're also working on being authentic. And so when you talk to each other, it's all figuring out, like, it's all real. It's all honesty. It's honest. Even though we may not be speaking the truth, we're at least being honest, because we're trying to figure out how to free ourselves, So the honesty is huge. See, with my family, the majority of my family, other than my dad and my cousin, everybody else in my family is all living in lies and illusion. There's no honesty there. It's all forgetting about what happened and just making the best of this moment until something happens again, and then we forget about that and then make the best, And so it's all fake. It's all completely fake. None of it's real. There's no authenticity. There's no truth. There's no honesty. So what is family about that? So yeah, the whole construct of these relationships and these families, like, even that's why I can't even get into a relationship. Like, there's no tying myself to a girl in a way, like, intimate. It just, because I'm even seeing, like, like, the whole intimacy is another thing to bind you to this world. Now, in just needing each other, like there should be no holding back of one another, it's just, there should be no binding of each other, it's that's what I mean. This love, I don't even think there would be relationships when we're operating at true love. It would just be like, you would just experience with one another, but eventually you would let go, as you have your own direction you want to take and they have their own direction they want to take. But when we have this love where we attach and we bind ourselves together, it's like we have to come to an agreement of how we're going to live our lives, which is limiting, which is taking us away again from living authentically and just moving about freely. And it's like, the only way it's just funny, because towards the middle, so I got into this emotional mental healing about June of last year, March, April, May or June of last year. And then when I got towards, like, October, November, I was seeing this girl who was aware of these things, but it's like these people think they're not complete unless they have a partner in their life. Like, they think that they are lacking if they don't have a partner in their life. Though the whole time she's like, "Oh, I'm fine. Like, I can do it all by myself, this or that." But the whole time she's just like, oh, it'd be so nice to have this, it'd be so nice to have that, it'd be so nice to, like she's, I'd have to think deeper on this, but she, by having a partner, she would experience a love that she can't give herself, is what I'm saying. Um, and and that's an issue, because no one should be giving you, because if that person were to leave, then you would be lacking that extra bit of love that made you feel complete, you know. So that's the thing, is it's not that, and I'm not trying to compare that to a community where everybody's in alignment to true fact and reality, living honestly and living authentically, because it's like you don't need a community. It's knowing that you're complete just within yourself, your own presence, but having that community, would make you probably feel safer in this world, just with where we're at now. Yeah, we just gotta watch out with these relationships, because they will be used against us at death, in order to reel us back in. Your grandma showing up, your spouse showing up, your child showing up. It's able. Yeah. So relationships, we got to watch out for. Emotions, we got to watch out for, as the emotions just feel like it keeps you on the hamster wheel of an endless roller coaster. I already said, once we transcend those emotions, we're just in our wholeness. We're the feeling we'll have from that is emotions we don't even experience right now. But they're also not fleeting, because the reason why this presence and this essence isn't fleeting is because it is just what it is. So when we're embodying that, there is no fleeting of a certain feeling, and whatever you experience, whatever fleets from that, you're coming right back to your wholeness, your pureness, your so there's never lack, there's never worry, there's never confusion, none of that. Even like I was even thinking of things like this, which would it's like those subtle things which would make me eat again, is like I like picking food out my teeth. I enjoy picking food out my teeth. And so it's just, I know that might sound wild to even worry about, but those are things we gotta, because it gave sensations. It was like a relaxing thing. It was like an achievement when I was able to get that thing that's been stuck in my tooth that I couldn't get with just my tongue, and now I have to use, so even things as small as that you would not even question, or things to question. I mean, that's what this journey is about. It's really, like you could even say, if you were addicted to, like I love, I enjoy the feeling of sneezing, to where I'll take a toothpick and I'll just hit it all the way on the back of my nostrils and make myself sneeze, and I'll do it over and over and over again. And because I really enjoy the feeling of sneezing. And so it's even becoming aware of things like that, like don't become attached to that. Don't, you know, um, because there's going to be those times where, from being attached to doing those things, from being addicted to that feeling, there's going to be a time when you're like, oh, I just feel like sneezing for some reason, like not actually needing to sneeze, but I feel like making myself sneeze. And it's like, but what if you weren't able to do that right now? What if you weren't? Because I remember what bothers me is when I have to sneeze naturally, and then I feel like I gotta sneeze, and then it doesn't happen, and it's like such a letdown for me, because I'm like, man, I just enjoy sneezing, because I don't hold my sneeze back. I fucking let go, right? I'm like, choo, like I let it go, and it just feels like, whew, that felt good. But yeah, questioning even those things. If you like picking your ears, if you like curling your hair, if you like yeah, it's so many things. Because like I see making myself sneeze is easier after I eat cooked food. It's easier to make myself sneeze after I eat cooked food, and like unlike the juice, which doesn't get stuck in your teeth because there's no density, there's no pulp. The only way to get that is by eating dense food, solid food. And so I've like those would be those subtle layers which would play into my justifications and my excuses to eat again. So it's really acknowledging all these subtle things, even though it may not come up in your justification process, to eat. It's just one of those subconscious things that's like, that knows, oh well, if I eat, I will get my other dopamine hit of making myself sneeze and picking the food out of my teeth. Just things to think about, man. This illusion and this matrix is intricate. I mean, it is so well structured and scripted to catch you at every turn that you make to get to your healing. It catches you on every fucking turn to just lead you down another superfluous direction. Lead you everywhere from actually taking the straight line to your healing, the straight path to your healing. There's so many nooks and crannies along that path to just grab your attention, grab your attention and pull you towards that pull you off that path, pull you in this direction, pull you off this dead end, pull you, and yeah, so it's just, we really gotta realize that we need nothing outside of ourselves. There is nothing to seek. There is nothing to gain out in this world. All we need is our essence. That is all we need. All we need is to return back to our essence, return back to our authenticity, return back, because there all the answers will prevail. All the knowing, the deep trust in yourself, like it's the confidence in yourself, the letting go of fear, lack, worry, desire, confusion. It's all gone when we're tapped back into that, when we're embodying that. So we just that's it, really. That's all this is about. Is winning this spiritual warfare by reclaiming our spirit, is by reclaiming our power. That's it. And from there, your wholeness, your completeness, you're going to be fulfilled. There's nothing that you need from this world. There's no excitement to chase. There's no experience to chase, as you will be living the experience you need to experience in the moment. And it's going to transcend all emotions here. It's going to transcend, you're not going to identify with happy. You're not going to identify with joy. You're going to be, it's like that, how I picture it is like how maybe in movies, I think it is the Shaolin monk, right? He can experience anything exciting, majorly exciting, and he can experience anything majorly depressing, and he still has the same demeanor. Like, he's just totally calm and relaxed, because he's already tapped in to where those things don't affect him. All he knows he can do is speak truth, is embody truth, is embody honesty, and just be that. And because that is fulfilling in and of itself, and it's not a roller coaster of emotions when you're living in that. So like, he can go on a roller coaster and be completely fine. Like, it's not he's not gaining anything from it, and he's not losing anything from it, because all he knows, because all that matters is what he innately has, and that's his presence, that's his essence. And people like of this world looking at a person like that as, oh, they're boring, oh, they're weird, because they don't find excitement in the things I find excitement, and it's like no, it's because he realizes you need this excitement in order to feel fulfilled, whereas he is already fulfilled. He doesn't need this experience. And usually the experiences in that scenario are things of this world, or things that are much less than the experience of our presence, the experience of embodying our entirety of who we really are, so yeah, it's being able to live like that, like not be affected by anything out here, because we know that we are just tapped in with ourselves. There is no, yeah, yeah, lifting the veil, lifting the veil, and sticking to our guns, staying fully committed to our healing, and not being side quested by any distractions that pop up, which will happen. It will happen, but you'll notice the more that happens, the quicker you are to discern those side quests. You're able to, because you're building on your discernment as well on this path of, is this aligning me towards truth, or is this just superfluous? Is this just something that my ego is attracted to, that my programs are attracted to, that my addiction, that my old self is attracted to? Is it that, or am I so yeah, along this journey you're able to catch those things quicker. You're able to see them before they even happen, because you can feel things leading up to that, yeah. And it's like, so it's wild, because just for myself, being able to build on that ability, it's like, man, all these things I'm unlocking already, it's like, what's gonna happen? Where am I gonna be at a year from now? Where am I gonna be at 6 months from now? Because I'm only becoming wiser, I'm only getting stronger, I'm only becoming wiser and stronger, and simpler. I'm only becoming simpler, as the truth is simple. I'm getting rid of all the extra, all the superfluous, all the unnecessary, and yeah. So yeah, that's my writing for today. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave your comments. If you want to talk more personally about things. Ask for my email. And yeah, enjoy y'all's day.